equipment this morning. For those who tuned in, didn't see your famous blue screen, and so that means that there was some issues, right? So we got that resolved. Again, good morning to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Wncr-Tv Now. Trying to get this up. Yesterday was city council meeting for the city of Rocky Mount, and a very short meeting, 33 minutes to be exact, from start to finish. And we'll go to one comment here during the public comment period that I do want to share with folk on today. And that is this individual in the Meadowbrook community who came and spoke on yesterday at the Rocky Mount City Council meeting. Once she gets to the podium, we'll get that on the screen here this morning. Here it is.
Good evening, mayors, council members, and city manager. So my name is Kristen Singleton, and I'm here to respectfully request the city's consideration for a reduction or waiver of the weed lien assessed on the property at 624 Marlborough Place, which currently represents the only abandoned home on the street and negatively impacts the neighborhood property values. I also encourage the city to consider establishing a formal process for reviewing special circumstances, particularly those involving deceased property owners and unadministered estates, such as this one. The former owner of the 624 Marlborough Place, Howard Pickford, passed away several years ago at age 86. In the years that followed, the property remained vacant and unmaintained, not due to willful neglect, but because the immediate family were unaware of any formal assets and lacked the legal authority to act on behalf of the administered estate. As the property remained vacant over the years, it gradually fell out of compliance, resulting in significant overgrowth and safety concerns. In response, the city conducted weed abatement activities spanning from 2014 to 2025 and boarded the property earlier this year in accordance with Chapter 10 of the Code of Ordinances. On May 14, 2025, the out-of-town heirs, Stephanie Caldwell and Mary Gallo, were formally contacted and notified by the city, confirming Mr. Pickford's ownership and outlining the accumulated fees. Although these services are performed over the years, the Google Earth imagery, neighborhood accounts, and recent photographs attached suggest that the property's overall condition has remained vastly unchanged for more than a decade. I want to assure the council that I'm acting on good faith and doing everything I can to resolve this matter. As part of this commitment, I'm currently in the process of acquiring and closing on the property, which further underscores my intent to bring it to full compliance and maintain it responsibly moving forward. The current weed lien assessed is approximately $7,400 owed to the city, presents a significant barrier to restoring the property and transferring it out of the estate. I am prepared to reinvest any relief granted from this lien directly back into the home, specifically to cover tree removals and yard restoration services, which are roughly equivalent to that lien amount. In parallel, the additional $16,000 in back taxes and city attorney fees will also be resolved through the closing process, which will all allow the property to be brought back into full compliance and restored to good standing. In light of these efforts and barriers, I would also like to respectfully highlight a comparable case in Edgecombe County where a resident named Delton Creech received a lien relief under similar circumstances in 2023. I have submitted a formal request to all of you on the board and including a timeline of key events. Thank you all for your time and your service.
Thank you.
So that was an individual who addressed the city council on yesterday in regards to just one house on Marlborough Place, and that's right off of Fairview Road there in the Meadowbrook community, close to D.S. Johnson Elementary School. In fact, I spent a number of times and days on Marlborough Place, as well as that's where one of my grandparents stayed there for a number of years before moving. But anyway, phone lines open for today at 252-407-8432. That's 252-407-8432. And so one of the things you're saying, hey, look, let's figure out a way of removing these weed abatement fees that's on these houses, because we want to get it back on stock and all this good stuff. And I think that's good when you can only have one house that is vacant or abandoned in this case. And she's worked her way through getting the house. I was just No, well, yesterday, one of these days, we're talking to people about housing and how things get the way they are because, again, a number of times people are, they're not saying, hey, I ain't coming back to Rocky Mount or whatever it might be. And so whatever people say, they say. We'll say whatever people say, they say. I think that's a good way of framing that conversation there. Then there's talks about elections coming up. Of course, we talked about yesterday how Roy Cooper has made his announcement that he's going to be running or is now running for the U.S. Senate seat for North Carolina. And so all eyes was on North Carolina for that upcoming announcement. And now here it is. So looking forward to seeing what that Senate race will look like as well. And in other news, this was some conversation we had the other day at the Buck Leonard Park, as a matter of fact, with a couple of people who was out there at Buck Leonard Park for a number of things that they've been, well, the last time was Summer Night Lights, in which I was engaged in some conversation with people. But anyway, Regina Townsend, I think it was her who I was talking to, if I ain't mistaken. Regina Townsend on Friday saw the American flag flying in front of the replacement of Fire Station number 2 at the northwest corner of West Raleigh Boulevard and South Gray Street. So I said, it's not long now, Townsend said, when she anticipates the city will officially be opening the $11.4 million structure. A community is really, the community is really talking about it, said Townsend, a caregiver who lives off of Garver Street and just west of the structure. So we are waiting. A city spokesperson email correspondence the middle of last week that replacement Fire Station number 2 is expected to become officially operational by Friday. So that's August 1st, their target date. The spokesperson said the official opening is set for August the 25th, with details still pending. Ground was broke on August 26, 2024 to build a replacement station. Barnhill Contracting, which has overseen the project, has worked on the structure to have it ready by next month. So very cool. The one-story structure was completed in 1977. And unlike the previous fire station, which faced South Gray Street, the future replacement is facing West Raleigh Boulevard or West Raleigh. Yeah, I think it's Boulevard. So, yeah. Hey, caller, good morning.
Well, Mr. Bronson, I just don't see that fire station costing that type of money. Now, perhaps it did, but I just don't see it.
Yeah.
And the fire station costs more than the homes over here. Mm-hmm. So are they going to include that when people try to sell a house as with comps?
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's a comparable thing. Sure.
So that's ridiculous. But if you can make a comparison, they need to use that fire station. And I don't think people thought about that. Now, going back to the city council meeting yesterday, East End Church, who bought the house? The Bibles or the church?
Mine said the church bought the house.
Okay, so the church bought the house.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the East End project.
Okay, so who the money go to?
It should go to the church. I don't know. I'm not in all that stuff. But if the church bought the house, it should be going to the church. But I have no idea what their structure is. I'm not a member of East End.
Right. I'm just curious. You know, people bring things to the light, and you want some answers. And is it going to be split between the members, or is it just going in the pocket of the church?
Well, generally it goes to the pockets of the church. There's generally no membership rebates. And essentially most churches who get into that type of development start using that money from the sale of such a property to then do another one, and then do another one, and then do another one. So that's essentially what they ultimately do.
Well, I thought somewhere down the line you're supposed to separate church and state. How did that come about?
I would say they are separated. I mean, how wouldn't they? But what do you mean separate the church and state?
I mean, some things I feel that a church shouldn't be involved in when it comes down to things like purchasing of a house and getting funding from municipalities. I really don't, but, I guess everybody got their own set of rules. I'm just talking legally, just not trying to talk legal this morning.
Yeah.
But it left a whole lot of questions in my mouth. But nevertheless, I'm glad they finally sold it. And
So that's what he said. I didn't hear him say that. So he said that's what he said yesterday. They sold the house.
They closed. He said they closed.
Okay, I missed
Isn't
that whole
so?
thing. Okay,
Yeah.
I missed the whole thing on that. That's interesting. Okay, I didn't know what he was talking about, but I
know
okay.
he was talking so low, his voice
Yeah.
like that in church.
I don't know. I haven't heard him
I
preach
said,
before.
my God, man, you better put some spice in that voice. So he was talking mighty low. I said, well. But anyway, they're doing their thing over there. I ain't talking about nobody this morning. I'm just asking questions.
What did he say? How much he sold the house for, or he didn't say?
No, that didn't come out. Because
Okay.
I was waiting. So they closed on the house.
Okay, well, good because it's been available for a while, and so that's good that somebody has bought it and moved into the community.
Right. So that's a good thing. They finally closed on it, but when people he bought it up, I decided to ask questions,
Well,
and they ain't mad at nobody. So nobody don't start talking about he this and she that. He bought it up, and I asked questions.
gotcha.
And the other thing, yesterday, we was talking about who in the world something in front of my house moving about. What's the world going on? But anyway. Yesterday we talked about the crime here in Rocky Mountain. I know the police department have a number that people can call anonymously to give out tips. But I was thinking, I think our human relations department need a number also, because sometimes people just don't want to call the police. These police officers here in Rocky Mountain, they'll come right to your house and start pointing fingers, like the man said last week.
Yeah.
Ain't calling right down there, and they do mess like that. But I think it would be a good idea is just to ask them to have a tip line that people could call in and will feel more comfortable. Because our police department, I question sometimes. I know they put the life on the line, but they put other people's lives on the line too, because they start pointing fingers and saying who said what. Now I've experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps they need to look into that also. But the meeting was very short yesterday. And did you take in consideration or think about what I said yesterday about getting musical concerts to come to this area to help with the renovations of some of these properties around here?
Did who take consideration of that?
You.
Oh, I heard you when you said it yesterday, and so I think that's a cool idea. But at the same time, the city takes tax collections from folks every year, and they just have to prioritize how they spend that money. And so I don't know if you need some newfound money, or do you need to do a better job at utilizing the resource and money that you currently have? Because again, they raised 4 cents on the property tax and said we're going to put it back in reserves, or we're going to do some capital project improvements or whatever it might be. And so there was additional, $2.8 or $2.6 million possibly. And then you got houses coming online and a new tax pay, and you got some annexations coming online. And so, I mean, they are growing their revenue sources. And so the question is, what does it look like to prioritizing the area? But there's nothing wrong with having some offset things to also do it. But I don't think that would be the city's role to do a fundraising concert for a home building situation. But if there was a nonprofit organization that was out there and building houses, and of course they may use means such as that to repair and rebuild and restore homes.
Mm-hmm. Now, is it true that Clee Atkinson is considering the chief of police job here?
I have no idea. That is a city manager's situation, and so whoever submitted applications.
I heard that thing out there, and I was just wondering.
Okay.
If he was actually considering it. And the lady that spoke about the house that she's trying to I guess, purchased. She had mentioned a person's name, Mr. Creech. Now, he got several houses in this area, and well, they almost, what word, deteriorated. But there's so much taxes owed them.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get up to $40,000 and $50,000 in taxes, and my God, it's gonna cost that much plus to renovate the house, and then you got the weeds and all that kind of stuff. It's ridiculous.
That's why tax foreclosure is going to be the best course to get people reasonably into homes. And so at some point, I'm thinking that the city is going to work towards a plan or model to do some tax foreclosures, as Edgecombe County has been doing as well, to really make homes purchasing affordable for those ones that became too dilapidated estates. And so hopefully that's what they're doing.
And have you heard anything about this house over here on Discovery Street?
Not a word.
Well, maybe Councilman Snyder called in, being that he had so much information once before, because I still want to know what they plan to do with that, even though I think it's under tax foreclosure or something, but they knew that when they brought it up in City Council. So, nevertheless, perhaps they'll get it towed down one day, probably the next 10 years.
Yeah, the lady said hers was a decade working on Marlboro Place, so it shouldn't be that long, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Until you get people willing to change it. Thank you. 252-407-8432. I want to say good morning, though, to Gwendolyn Swain, Betty Archambault, Allison Williams, Larry Woodley, Vernice Harris, Alice Bailey, Donovan Williams, Gloria Brake, Lucy Boyer, Deborah Gunter, Allison Williams, as well as Lorraine Pitts and Candy Staten. Thank you so much for tuning in to Wncr-Tv Now as we continue to talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our nation. And absolutely, I would concur with the members on the Facebook page that faith-based communities who want to engage in revitalizing homes and communities, I think is a great thing. Hey, caller, good morning.
Good morning, Brother Bronson.
Hey, sir, how you doing? Your name was just brought up. Yes, sir.
Oh, I don't know why they bring my name up, but I just like to commend East End Missionary Baptist Church, Reverend Dr. Matt Battle and Lady Deborah Battle, for a job well done. And yes, if we had more churches getting involved in the community, if you look around, especially the historic African American community, where the churches have been the anchor and the pillar in those communities, along with schools, and you see dilapidated houses, boarded up houses, I think all churches, if they had the capacity to do so, should buy property, renovate them, teach their members how to be homeowners, put them in the house, selling it at a reasonable price, take the money and continue to invest. Then do economic development. If you want a pharmacy or a grocery store, we can build our own. So to me, they just passed this law where the church can endorse candidates. So I don't see no separation of church and state. Because Jesus said the government shall be upon his shoulder, and we believe in that if we are Christians. So I commend any church or anybody that has a vision and the wherewithal to go out here, because if we don't do it, look around and see other people that don't look like us in our communities. You see the Latinos, you see other people from out of town coming into our community, and then when they charge you market rate rent, then you complain about how much is the rent. So if you buy and you control it yourself, then you won't have to complain about what you're charging people for rent, because you'll be the owner. And so again, and about the house on Discovery Street, call the county. The county, the one that's foreclosing it, they'll tell you what's going on with it. And yes, they need to be torn down, just like a lot of the burn-up houses, but I think they're on the list to be demolished. Mm-hmm. But again, I just heard that, and I just said, we as a people, I don't know. Because if you do this, you ain't right. You do this, you're wrong. So, I don't know. People complain so much. So, I just want to say, people just keep doing what they're doing. And I don't know. Anyway, Bronson, they said you're a candidate. And if you get on the council, maybe you can solve all these issues that's
Well,
in our community.
with the other council support, we'll do just that. Thank you, sir.
Well, yeah, you be one vote along with the other
That's
eight,
right.
and
There
one
you go.
person can't do it by themselves.
There you go. And I
All
understand
right.
that. Thank you, sir. You take care. 252-407-8432. That's 252-407-8432. So, yeah, certainly, before you called in, I was concurring with the idea that faith-based organizations get involved and doing especially if the city is not funding it in its entirety. So if the faith-based community is leveraging its dollars with city dollars to make it happen, then absolutely, because we need, at any rate, to restore these dilapidated communities that exist, these homes with boards on them, these homes that invite people to start squatting in homes and things of that nature. And so instead of waiting for someone else to do it, when an organization picks up the mantle and say, here I am, send me, I'll go, I think that is a very valuable and commendable thing to do. Similar to what the Berkshire Neighborhood Association or Community Development Organization has done over there as well with their community wealth building program. I think they still have a house for sale, and I think they kind of moved out of Berkshire a little bit and started doing some work elsewhere as well. So, that is what it is when you can tackle these homes one home at a time. I hope that we can develop a method in targeting particular neighborhoods and really doing some realized work. And not saying that the work that folks are doing in the individual parcels are not realized, but sometimes they're not felt because it hasn't changed the landscape of the community. Because oftentimes it is this idea that we live in this microwave society, so I want it done now. And so one way to address that is to really incent development in a particular fragile community that will help with that. And then if you create that home ownership opportunity as well, even better in that regard. 48 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour this morning on Wncr-Tv Now. I also want to share with you that this Thursday, we'll put this on the screen as well, this Thursday at 6 p.m. at Truth Tabernacle Church. That's 704 Arlington Street. We mentioned this on yesterday. They will have a community meeting on gun violence prevention and community resources. And of course, you see the City of Rocky Mount's logo there because this event is being brought to you by Rocky Mount Human Relations Department. And again, that's going to be this Thursday, July the 31st at 6 p.m. at Truth Tabernacle Ministries at 704 Arlington Street in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. So again, looking forward to that. While we're there, I want to say good morning also to Peggy Parker Harrison. Thank you for tuning in as well to Wncr-Tv Now as we talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our nation on this morning. Just about 11 minutes before I get up out of here. Don't plan on going on past 9 o'clock. So that's that. As we again continue to talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our nation. Looking at what the weather forecast is going to look like today, we definitely got some. These thunderstorms are definitely here. Today, expect highs near 93. It's another hot day today. On Wednesday, highs near 92. Thursday, chance of showers at 65% with highs near 95. And on Friday, chance of showers at 80% with highs near 86 degrees. And Saturday, and throughout this weekend, all the way through next Wednesday, there's rain in the forecast. And your lowest on next Monday, your lowest on next Sunday, this upcoming Sunday, is near 79 degrees as a high. So, wishing this heat well that it will continue to reduce its level. And so that's what we will do there this morning. And again, if you ride through various communities, you will see various signs talking about foreclosure sales where Edgecombe County is, in fact, foreclosing on properties in Rocky Mount. And for years, they didn't do that. And here recently, they began to do that process of putting more houses on the line because they kind of figure, okay, we can get this house fixed up and developed. Now we're adding more people back to our tax rolls. One thing to hold a piece of money, hold a debt and say, hey, you owe me $10,000, $12,000, $40,000, $60,000. It's uncollectible. And so somebody with the good wherewithal said, let's get them back online. Hey, caller, good morning.
Mr. Bronson, the gentleman that did the killing yesterday in New York City. Now, that building housed some high-dollar companies. Don't you think that security should have seen him coming in there with that gun and did a lockdown before he entered?
They made mention of how he kind of caught the eye of people, but not really. Of course, we live in a world where we try not to
people on the
stereotype people.
outside,
So, you asked the question, so I was trying to answer the question which you asked. But
I know you did.
All right,
But if you want me to end, I will.
Well, I was about to say I don't really follow that situation. I mean, I heard it, I saw it on the news, but I really have been more in tune with local stuff as of right now, and it really kind of, I think, I'm consistently kind of like that. But yeah, I saw it in a brief. But again, the pit I did hear, they kind of saw him and they kind of didn't at the same time.
Okay.
But it made me think of the thing where I appreciate you. But it made me think of the thing where President Donald Trump one time said I could shoot a person on Saks Fifth Avenue and get away with it type situation. Now, of course, this guy ultimately is dead. But I don't know. Again, we've got so much gun violence going on here in our community as well. And I think it goes back to conflict resolution, how we deal with it, and that we talk our way through it. And all that good stuff. But I don't know. I don't know. I was there in New York, and again, don't be here when all these other criminal activities are happening either. But I do wish it would stop. And again, having these events, I think, are good. Community meetings on gun violence and prevention and all this kind of stuff. But if you don't get to know these people who are the target age group that's committing these crimes and really developing relationships with them, I'm not sure if a bunch of people sitting in a meeting is going to do anything unless you inspire that person to then be that agent of change to start developing a relationship with that target group of people. And again, it's hard to say what that is because the Sunset Park incident, of course, that was an older gentleman. The thing that happened at Buffalo Wild Wings was younger. The thing that happened at MLK Park was younger. All them young people getting arrested. And I don't know. One thing I know Nancy talked about at the meeting at Word Tabernacle the other day was saying having all these glorified funerals and things of that nature, and kind of, is that psychologically make me say, I'm going to have my name on a T-shirt, I'm going to da-da-da-da. I mean, you'd just be surprised on what motivates people to do things. And again, I do think that some of the resolve, and you're not going to get everybody. I mean, it's the pool is so full, right? You're not going to get everybody, but we get who we can get. We engage in who we can engage with. But I do think that it's going to require maybe even not meetings, but training sessions on role-playing interactions. So we'll say, okay, how do you encounter this situation when this person is this age? And maybe even have some real young people they're engaged in too. And have them in a space they're truthfully and honest about it. And they'll express how that makes them feel hearing that from this person, so you can figure out ways of interacting with youth of today. Because youth of today is not youth of yesteryear. They are different for sure. But at the core, I believe they all are the same. But before you break past that surface level, that's going to be the hardest challenge of breaking past that surface level and developing that relationship to get to that similar core, because truthfully, we all are the same at the end of the day. But I do think that is possible. But I don't think that we're going to get there overnight. And nor we'll reach everybody, but as long as we're reaching who we can, I think we'll be okay. Good morning also to Marvin Bowden. Thank you for tuning in to Wncr-Tv Now as we continue to talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our nation as well. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in this morning. And again, I did put out some information regarding the shooting at Sunset Park that happens to be the father of a law enforcement officer with the Rocky Mount Police Department. So, of course, there is condolences to that family. And on Monday, looks like this was just posted 23 minutes ago. On Monday, July 28th, members of the B Squad were setting up to conduct a licensed checkpoint on Sutton Road in Rocky Mount. While units were setting up and approaching, a vehicle began to reverse. Sergeant Hyman attempted a traffic stop, but the vehicle fled. During the pursuit, the vehicle intentionally struck Sergeant Hyman's patrol vehicle and continued fleeing recklessly. The vehicle eventually crashed, and all 3 occupants were placed in custody. A search of the vehicle revealed a stolen firearm and crack cocaine. I ain't heard that word in a long time. Crack cocaine. Driver Jasmine Avent in Rocky Mount was charged with felony, flee, and eluding, possession of a stolen firearm, possession of a firearm by a felon, reckless driving to endanger an adult or a law enforcement officer, injury to a personal property, no operator's license, driving left or center, and was booked with no bond. The other person was a front seat passenger, Nathaniel Clark. Possession of a firearm by a felon, possession of a stolen firearm, also serving outstanding warrants, and no bond. The rear passenger, Deshauna Lynch, got a secured bond there, felon possession of crack cocaine, and also served outstanding warrants. So the crack cocaine must have been in the rear of the vehicle, and I'm assuming the gun was in the front, or it was in the vehicle, and those 2 first passengers were the only ones that had a felony, and so therefore they got those felony charges. But nevertheless, congratulations to the Edgecombe County Sheriff's Office for doing a routine traffic stop and able to get some outstanding warrants served, as well as finding some drugs in the vehicle and an individual with a stolen firearm. A stolen firearm. That's what it is. And I rode down Sutton Road yesterday. What time was this again? It doesn't have a time on it. Okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't get up there and back up. They've been chasing me too. Hey, listen, I'll see you tomorrow to do it all over again on Wncr-Tv Now as we continue to talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our nation this morning. Good morning also to Reginald Manning. Thank you for tuning in, and all those others who have tuned in this morning to Wncr-Tv Now. We'll see you. Don't forget Pop's Diner 11 to 6 Sunday through Friday. And we'll see you next time on Wncr-Tv Now.